Hi, I'm David Myron, Editorial Director of CRM Magazine, and joining me here today is Vinda Souza, who is the Director of Marketing Communications at Bullhorn. Thank you for joining us today at CRM Evolution.
Thank you very much for having me, David.
I wanted to talk a little bit about, from the customer's, your client's perspective,
Yes.
what are the pain points that they're experiencing now?
The number one problem that we're seeing as far as the salespeople within our prospect and customer organizations and the challenges they face is that they're losing knowledge when their best reps leave the business. They're losing knowledge, and then the new reps starting don't have that level of knowledge and insight into where an account stands, right? Whether that's from people churning, from employee turnover, or whether it's simply from diverse silos of information residing within an information between departments. The bottom line is there are barriers and walls to collaboration, and only through open collaboration can you get the best sense of customer health at any given moment. So if you think about it, you are trying to sell me a product or service. You are scheduled to meet me for coffee in a couple of hours. How do you get information on me? You go into your CRM system, you look up my contact record, you see, my address, my phone number, etc., maybe a few notes that somebody's added in before. You don't know how accurate those notes are. You don't know how complete that information is. You have no sense of who I am as a person. You can't actually create a meaningful connection with me because you don't have enough information to determine my identity beyond a simple tangential record, right? What we're trying to do right now is eliminate the silos. The best way to create meaningful connections with key stakeholders is to destroy the walls. Now, if you think about within a corporation, what signifies the most obvious wall, it's email, right? Email is a closed-off system, and it has, especially at recent points, become even more siloed in that it's a locked-down mechanism of communication. It's not like a conversation which is free-flowing and in the ether, right? Email has walls. So you may talk about the idea of living an open concept life and having free collaboration between colleagues. Bottom line is, you would never look at your colleague's email. That seems almost sacrosanct. But we believe that that's an outdated and outmoded philosophy. Communication should be open. All communication should be open. And if you could listen in to recorded phone conversations in a call center, for instance, for quality assurance, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to have that same level of visibility into email communication.
That's a good point. So a few months ago, I had the opportunity to get a demo of one of your products called Pulse.
Yes.
Which I believe does what you're talking about. So it takes a look at the hidden data or unstructured data within an email and is able to pull the relevant information into the customer record, right? So can you tell our viewers a little bit more about that, how it works, how it can, and how valuable or what kind of value that adds to the salesperson?
Absolutely. So the real core promise of Pulse is radical transparency. It's making communication and conversations radically open across an organization so that every department within that organization and every employee within that organization can contribute to a greater understanding of customers, prospects, and other key stakeholders without putting forth any effort at all. It's completely automated, it's completely unobtrusive, and it's absolutely seamless in terms of how you live your day-to-day work life.
So can you give an example of the kind of data that can be pulled from just a regular email that, up until today, a company might not have found or recognized as important?
We had an example, and our CEO often talks about this. He was looking within Pulse, and within Pulse you can see emails exchanged between various people in your organization with customers and prospects. And he was looking at these two prospect accounts, both of which were listed with a 50% likelihood of closing, right? Both had the same weighted pipeline value. Both seemed like they were fairly sure deals. And both really impressive enterprise organizations. And now if you look at just pure salesperson reporting and conjecture, self-reporting rather, then, let's be honest, a lot of people will say, well, this deal is going to close, because they have a good, positive gut instinct about it. Gut instinct is not reliable, it's not scalable, and it's not reproducible in reality. So he looked at these two deals, and within the Pulse dashboard, he was able to see email conversation velocity at these two accounts. So he saw that at this one account X, the quantity of emails had increased precipitously in the past month, versus at account Y, the email velocity had declined and flatlined, right? Another example was at account X, he saw that the people with whom the account rep was exchanging emails were of a considerably different caliber as far as purchasing power goes. So this guy, we'll call him Joe, because I know his real name, but I won't out him.
Okay.
We'll call him Joe. And Joe was having conversations with the senior VP of sales and the CEO and the CFO. And not only was he having conversations of any kind with them via email, but he was also having conversations of an extremely impressive quality, in that he was talking with this SVP of sales about nursery schools and about the soccer games she was taking her kids to, and about weekend plans, and about restaurant recommendations. Like, these are conversations you'd have with your close friend, right? Versus Sam, who was part of account Y and working that deal, which also had a 50% likelihood of closing. And he looked at his email conversation activity tracking card, and you could see that he was just engaging with support reps and technical analysts and employees that certainly may have had knowledge about the organization, but they didn't have any purchasing power, and they weren't business champions, and they weren't going to pioneer the deal single-handedly for him, right? And then if you drill down into those emails, you can actually read the text. Anybody can at the organization in Bullhorn. And we could see that his conversations were all about pricing and references, which, while just looking at a subject line might seem somewhat impressive, when you actually read them, you realize that that organization's support reps were simply collecting basic data on our software to literally probably pit us against 10 other vendors. There was no way we were going to win that deal. From a pure activity standpoint, you might have put it at 50% likelihood of closing, but if you actually understood how the game is played, how the sausage is made, how the bread is buttered, you'd realize we had no chance, right? Versus account X, there was no way we were going to lose it.
Right.
And true to form, a month later, we won account X.
Right.
Did not win account Y, right?
So better sales intelligence enables an organization to focus on the accounts that they have a better chance of closing.
And not even that, but it means that every account that you're working, you have a better chance of closing, because there's something else that Pulse enables through sentiment analysis called trigger words. And this thing is really revolutionary. It's really changed the game for many of our customers. And what trigger words do is it surfaces specific instances of account danger, or positive interactions as well, true to form. So say, for instance, you can flag a word such as unhappy, disappointed, dissatisfied, or rock star, excellent, amazing, service, experience. And then as soon as you flag those words, not only does that look throughout all your email interactions with a contact and automatically surface instances of the word being used, but it can also up-level that insight to sales leadership and to executive leadership as well. And since Pulse seamlessly tracks emails from any user in the organization, it's not just the sales team. You can see instances where a finance person may have upset a customer. You can see an instance in which a support rep may not be giving a great experience. And conversely, the opposite of that, when someone's being an utter rock star, like I'm in the marketing organization. So you wouldn't necessarily look at me and say that I should be selling to a prospect directly. But the bottom line is, again, an outmoded philosophy. We believe that everybody in an organization should be selling all the time. And everybody within an organization is directly responsible for ensuring a positive customer experience. At Bullhorn, our core philosophy, our mission, is to create an incredible customer experience. And by nature, to help our customers create incredible customer experiences. It's this virtuous circle of customer centricity and humanity that helps everybody kind of keep their focus on the real prize, which is getting to know people better to better serve and address their needs.